So he really had an incredibly restless intellect. He would move from one genre to the next in film, and nobody could ever pigeonhole him, which, of course, drove people nuts. And so even though he was very much, one of the founders of the New Wave in France, you don't always see him recognized as that, as opposed to Truffaut or Godard. In a sense, because he was so fluent in English and really knew the idioms in English. I mean, he was so comfortable in the language that he moved so easily between the two countries that I'm not sure that he was ever accepted in either. The French, I don't think, ever forgave him for working outside of France, and Americans, I think, always perceived him as an outsider who they respected and whose work they loved, but who really told films that were maybe lacking in a popular vulgarity that would have made them more commercial. Louis had always sort of longed for a certain commercial success as long as he could be untainted by it, and as long as it didn't compromise his integrity as a filmmaker. And he wasn't sure that was possible. He made a film called Crackers in America. Crackers was a flat failure, critically and commercially. And I think he was very chastened by that, and felt that perhaps he had sold himself out by doing a film that he was not passionate about, by doing a film that was really a labor instead of a labor of love. And then after Crackers, he did Alamo Bay. Louis loved John Ford, and Alamo Bay was sort of his Western, except that it was on the ocean and involved Vietnamese shrimpers along with in the Gulf of Texas. The reviews were just merciless, especially Vincent Canby in the New York Times, who not only attacked the movie, but attacked Louis. And it was a very personal attack. It was unsparing, and he was wounded. He was so angry and so depressed that he went to Europe and by himself, like an animal who goes out into the forest, and grieved. I think that then he thought, I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to tell it in my country, and I'm going to tell it in French. And Louis was working on the script for Au revoir les enfants. Louis kept journals all his life. So he looked back over a lot of journals. He began talking to people, talking to men who had gone to school with him at that time, talking to his brothers, doing historical research to support it. And he was completely immersed in the story once he felt ready to tell it. Even though he had made semi-autobiographical films, this was really the most important, to tell as simply and powerfully as he could.